In the imperial sections of the Forbidden City, all female residents were discreetly kept apart. They were limited to the inner court and not allowed to leave the northern part of the palace, which was deep inside. Most women in the prohibited city worked as maids and servants, but a few were concubines whose job was to have as many children as possible for the emperor. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about horrific things that were normal to Chinese concubines. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. People who had children by male were elevated to imperial consorts, with the empress at the pinnacle of the food chain. Three main categories of women comprised the inner court: concubines, palace staff, and royal princesses. As early as the Jin dynasty, women were chosen as Vishnu or elegant females for the court, and the selection factors varied from emperor to emperor. For instance, no family was exempt from the selection during the Ming dynasty. All young, single women were required by statute to undergo the SHNU selection procedure. Only married females or those with legitimate physical flaws or disability. However, by restricting selection to 8 flags, primarily Manchurian and Mongolian families, the Qing Emperor Suji started to exclude the majority of the Han population. To recruit the clan's assistants, the Board of Revenue sent notifications to representatives in the national capital and regional garrisons. The Board of Revenue was notified of the selection date after the banner officials had sent a roster of all eligible women to the commander's Beijing headquarters. Girls were brought to the Xinu or martial spirit gate of the Forbidden City on the designated night during the Qing dynasty for examination. They would travel with their parents, the people closest to them, and the community leaders and government representatives. Social status was not a factor when choosing concubines, and many kings did so. The only exception was the queen. She was always chosen from a high-ranking official's household. The number of applicants selected to spend several nights with women who were experts in training and supervising maids would be less than 100. The candidates' bodies were examined for body hair, odor, and skin diseases. The candidates received instruction on appropriate speech, body language, and walking. Additionally, they studied the arts, including drawing, reading, writing, chess, and dancing. The winning candidate also spent a few days caring for the emperor's mother's daily requirements while acting as her maid. They endured additional examinations as they slept next to their mother to look for any negative nocturnal behaviors like snoring, emitting odors, or talking or moving around while they slept. The best 50 candidates underwent additional testing and were ranked based on responses to questions about math, literature, and art. The top 3 candidates for imperial concubines would be chosen. Only a select few who survived this demanding procedure would catch the emperor's attention and win his prize. Most would live their entire lifetimes in dreadful isolation. Politics and jealousy were rampant among concubines, which was not unexpected. In China at this time, beauty was more of a curse than a blessing, so it stands to reason that concubines were rigorously forbidden from having sex with anyone besides the emperor. The eunuchs, who held a position of great authority in the court, oversaw and kept an eye on most of their operations. Before the emperor entered their bedchamber, concubines had to bathe and be examined by a court doctor. The emperor had access to hundreds, sometimes thousands, of concubines. Any lady who received a call from the emperor would be the target of jealous rivalries. Concubines lived in their chambers and spent their days sewing, applying makeup, and interacting with other concubines. Many lived in the palace their entire lifetimes without ever meeting the emperor. Under various emperors, the order did not change, but the number of consorts and concubines did. In fruitless China, polygamy was widespread, though only upper and wealthy middle-class men could afford to take multiple wives. The presence of many women was interpreted as a sign of a man's masculinity, and was seen as an affirmation of masculine power. The importance of reproduction and maintaining the father's family lineage were emphasized. In Darshi, Confucianism strongly emphasized a man's capacity for family management as part of his personal development. As for the emperor, securing an heir to the realm was of utmost significance. All other wives could not compare to the primary wife. She was responsible for submitting to the higher ideals of polygamy and guiding the other spouses toward better harmony. Women had to put aside their earthly feelings, particularly the principal wife. The conviction that they were striving for something greater than themselves helped them overcome resentment, jealousy, and competition. The husband shouldn't have a favored wife, and none of the wives should have the man all to themselves. The wives had to share the love equally, so an intense attachment was out of the question. Each dynasty had its own set of positions and titles for the imperial wife. The empress held the highest rank, with successive levels below her being filled by successively more wives. When a new wife joined the imperial family and was given a position, for example, the hierarchy of the lower echelons was established. The well-being of the entire Chinese kingdom was thought to depend on the management of the emperor's sexual life. The emperor's sex routine was monitored by the Chinese calendars of the 10th century, not for keeping time. There was a strict schedule for the concubines who slept with the prince. Secretaries were hired to use brushes dipped in imperial vermilion to document the emperor's sexual activities. I appreciate you coming. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.